Right. What are we playing again? Football. Got it.
So, and here's something else, man. What do you guys think about this? So we're 2-0, right? But how good do you guys feel about that 2-0?
Oh, I'm mad at Mahomes. I'm mad.
Because Mahomes,
I'm mad at him for
we're down to
selfish
3
reasons.
viewers, and you're yelling at Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm mad at him for
He
selfish
had
reasons.
the
For selfish
least
reasons.
amount of passing yards of his whole career last game.
Yes.
What was that? 128,
28, I think.
100, no.
151.
I actually have it
151.
here somewhere. Hold on.
151.
151, spot on. 151 yards. Man, I feel bad for anyone that drafted that guy in the first round. Shut up. I'm sure none of us did. So,
or maybe somebody sitting here.
This guy.
Someone here.
This
hey
guy.
man, you gotta love him. Gotta love him, man.
I
You
mean,
gotta
I
love
love him. I do love him.
It's going to be a different world for Mahomes without Pacheco. I mean, we're
very much so.
I mean,
very much so.
How many pass attempts is he going to have on Sunday night against Atlanta?
And with
over 30, over 30,
probably 25 to 20 to 30.
I do have a prediction. I think we're gonna throw for over 300 yards. Actually, their top corner actually is AJ Terrell, and he's been struggling. He's been struggling this season. So I think Devontae went for about 70 or 80 yards on him the week before. Who was it? I got it wrote down on my piece of paper here.
The Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. AJ Brown, went deep on it. Or I just said Devontae Smith, rather. Right. But then another player. But anyways, where do we have Rice at? Is he going to hit 80 yards?
Oh, yeah. He's going to get 100.
That's the question.
If Mahomes is going to throw for 300, he's going to hit 80.
Yeah. He's going to have 100.
And then the big question is, what
Rice
about
is our
Kelce?
main guy. Kelce's off to a slow start, man. I was talking to Willie upstairs, and I was going to say this. On fantasy owners, if you have Kyle Pitts on your team, that's a must start. Because the Chiefs defense can't cover a tight end for shit.
No, they can't.
Oh,
no,
man.
they can't.
Kyle Pitts
Gesicki
is
look
going to
like
fucking
the second-
go off.
You know what? Kyle Pitts is late to the show anyway. We've been talking about Kyle Pitts for 3 years now. Kyle Pitts hadn't done shit except for being a fantasy football name that hadn't done shit.
Yeah. But who was the Bengals tight end? That dude.
Gesicki.
Gesicki.
We made
what
him
the
look
fuck
like
is
the
this
second
dude?
coming of Tony Gonzalez.
Gesicki made his name out playing with Tua and the Dolphins last year before. And he's kind of having a resurgence. I got him on my fantasy squad.
I'll say this about Kelce, and I don't know if you guys knew this. I looked this up today. So after last week, it was his 5th consecutive regular season game with fewer than 45 receiving yards.
Wow.
Which I didn't even realize it was that bad, but that is true.
It is
In the last game, there was unfortunately more Taylor Swift highlights than there was Travis Kelce highlights during the game, and I'm not even kidding.
I believe it.
Hold on.
It is
true.
true.
He did have like a 30-yard
It was
pass.
a 40. It was a 45-yard pass
40,
that
okay.
got nullified by a penalty.
So they showed him once, and then
Byron,
they
that
showed
tackle.
Taylor twice
Yep.
on that one play.
I believe he looked to possibly lateral across the field on that play.
Well, he did the fake throw.
Yeah.
He did the fake throw.
He did.
I did. Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes has the most interceptions nullified by penalties, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that.
That
It's
sounds
insane.
correct.
It's
That
insane.
sounds absolutely
Because
correct.
he knows when they jump, it's like, I'm throwing this. I don't care.
Yep.
I'm throwing it deep, and
Yep.
it gets picked. It gets picked.
Yep, exactly.
Although I think he did definitely get bailed out last week on one of those. That was a bailout, right? I think the player, that was pass interference or something happened out in the field. I forget, but that was a nice bailout.
I also blame Matt Nagy. I am not a fan of Nagy. I'm just telling you right now. Obviously I know Andy Reid's calling plays, but you can see on the sideline that Nagy has a hand in there, and you saw what he did in Chicago. It wasn't good. And so I have a problem with our offensive coordinator. I really do.
So, okay. So you think we?
We're talking about Travis Kelce not being involved in the game script and being there. The only time he really scores is when Patrick Mahomes goes off when he runs outside the
So you
pocket.
think Nagy is not putting Travis as a focus in the offense?
I would say so.
Okay.
It does look like stats say that that's what's going on.
So it's not. You don't think that defenses are paying more attention to Kelce? That's why Rice is getting like one-on-one coverage. And
Are we getting a little older as well?
Oh,
Possibly
Yeah,
getting a little
you
older.
could, yeah. If you want to play that card, I would say yeah.
I would say this, though,
I would
right?
say
So our other receivers are more dangerous this year than they were last year, right? So it would have made more sense that they leaned on Travis Kelce a little bit more last year.
Yeah.
And I would think the defense this year, they don't get to focus on Travis Kelce as much. So I would have thought that he would be playing
Me
better right
too,
now.
me
For that simple
too.
fact that the other receivers are now commanding more respect than they did last year, which should have took some of the pressure off of Kelce. But
Hasn't played out.
it's not a
Yeah. And talking
Played
about
out that way.
receivers, man, what about that Hollywood Brown, man? That was a tough.
Dude,
regular season.
dude, that
I was looking back at the
man.
podcast a couple weeks ago, and we were saying, give him a break week 1,
right.
but week 2 or week 3 he'll be back.
You know what?
Yeah, I was thinking like a few weeks too. Yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's
No,
like
it's
he's out for
regular
the
season.
season,
Nope.
or the regular. He's out for the regular,
season, right? Yeah, but I mean, is he really going to do that much? If we get into the postseason, is he really going to be that effective, or is he just going to be just a guy just willy nilly on the
We
outside?
talked a lot about.
He's going to be a
Juju.
willy nilly guy.
We talked a lot about Juju a couple weeks ago. He's added nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's that receiver that's at the end of his career, not
So the
doing too much.
So the Chiefs are with, and there's a handful of teams. I think there's Chiefs, Cowboys, and maybe Minnesota. A handful of teams. It's less than a handful of teams that are shopping wide receivers right now because we need wide receiver help because we don't have that
Is
other third
there-
option coming in
Is
with
there
Marquise Brown.
any wide receiver out on the market that's like kind of like a Kareem Hunt that's out there hanging out?
Martavis,
Oh, here we go.
Martavis Bryant.
Willie Witches is making his way